This story happened back when I was working at the plant with two brothers. The older brother, we called him Big Dog. Now, Big Dog was the kind of guy everybody at the plant knew. Big presence, big personality. Through Big Dog, I got to know his little brother, Pete. Pete was younger, still figuring things out, and Big Dog was letting him stay with him for a while, trying to help him get on his feet. But Pete didn't always think things through. Now, Big Dog had a bit of a reputation around the plant. If people wanted to party, Big Dog usually knew how to make that happen. He was what you might call a businessman. One night during shift, Big Dog and Pete started talking to two girls that worked there. They were laughing, joking, just passing time like people do when the night shift starts dragging. Eventually, the girls mentioned they wanted to party after work. Now, this wasn't really a date situation. It was more like a transaction. Everybody understood what kind of night it was going to be. So Big Dog made a plan. He told Pete, "Listen, I'm going to meet these girls at a motel room. You swing by and pick up a few things for the night. Nothing crazy, just enough for everybody to relax and have a good time." Pete said, "No problem." So, after work, Big Dog and the girls headed over to this little roadside motel not far from the plant. One of those places with the outside doors and the neon sign flickering in the parking lot. They got inside the room. The girls sat down on the bed, talking and laughing. Big Dog grabbed a couple drinks, and they were just waiting for Pete to show up. Time went by. They were sipping drinks, talking about people at work, just passing the time. But every once in a while, Big Dog would glance toward the door because he was waiting on Pete. Finally, there was a knock. Big Dog walked over and opened the door, and Pete walked in, smiling, holding a Walmart bag. At first, nobody thought anything about it. Pete walked over and set the bag down. But the second Big Dog looked inside that bag, his whole face changed. Pete didn't bring what he was supposed to bring. Instead of bringing a small amount for the night, Pete had walked into that motel room carrying a whole kilo of hard. And the moment Big Dog realized what he was looking at, he about lost his mind, because now this wasn't just a small party anymore. Pete had just walked into that motel room with enough stuff to send every single person in there to prison for 20 years. Big Dog grabbed Pete by the arm and said, "Come here. Back here." He pulled him straight into the back room away from the girls. The second that door closed, Big Dog lit into him. He was furious. "Boy, what in the world are you thinking?" Pete looked confused, like he didn't understand what the problem was. Big Dog opened the bag, pulled out just a little of what they actually needed for the night, and shoved the rest back toward Pete. Then he looked him dead in the face and said, "Listen to me real careful. You take that mess back where you got it." Pete started to say something, but Big Dog cut him off. "No, you listen. You be careful going back too. And I don't care if you never see another woman the rest of your life. You've got to start using some common sense, boy." Then Big Dog pointed toward the door. "Now get that stuff out of here. Take it back where it came from, and you get back here as quick as you can." Pete didn't argue. He grabbed the bag and headed back out the door. Back in the room, Big Dog tried to act like everything was normal again. The girls didn't know exactly what had just happened, but they could tell something wasn't right. Big Dog grabbed another drink, and sat down, music playing quietly, the TV glowing in the corner. But you could tell Big Dog was still irritated. He kept shaking his head under his breath. Time passed. People kept drinking. The conversation slowly picked back up. Then, after a while, there was another knock on the door. Big Dog looked over, and Pete was back. He stepped inside looking a little more relaxed this time. That's when Big Dog knew the problem had been handled. By that point, the fellas had already been drinking pretty good. Big Dog stared at Pete for a second, then just shook his head, and finally let the whole situation go. The night went on like nothing had happened, but everybody in that room knew Pete had come real close to turning a simple night into a life-changing mistake.